Welcome to Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, the game where knowing what the hell is going on is merely a suggestion, and death is inevitable. In the ninja world, it's every man and woman for themselves. It's either cheese, or be brutally and maliciously comboed by a boss, or get stuck in an infinite stun loop by a bunch of enemies. The story starts out with a baddie named Sonya looking for a ninja named Ryu. She talks to a local swordsmith about his whereabouts before getting ambushed by the Black Spider clan. Sonya gets captured before a knight in shining armor, also known as Ryu, comes up to kick some Black Spider butt. Despite Ryu's attempt to save Sonya, she still gets yoinked and Ryu must follow her. Since Ryu hasn't felt the touch of a woman since his mother, he doesn't hesitate to eliminate anyone in his path. After basically just committing genocide, Ryu finds his way to where the Black Spider clan is holding Sonya. As if Ryu had gone a lobotomy at the age of 6, he decides to rush to headquarters like he's the main character or something. While committing genocide a second time, he makes his way up the building, eliminating any Black Spider clan lackey they send his way. After making it to the top, Ryu discovers that the Black Spider clan was somehow aware of his presence and made their way to a helicopter to escape. Miraculously, they have some ninjas able to turn into these weird spider demons, which absolutely beats my ass. After a few attempts, they beat the boss. It turns out that the ninja sacrificed himself for literally nothing, as the main villain, Elizabeth, never even left in the helicopter and waited for the spider demon thing to die before leaving the ground, and then kicked Sonya out of the chopper when they finally leave. Ryu catches Sonya, and she tells him that Elizabeth is after the demon statue in his home clan. Ryu knows something that I don't, what the statue does. So he realizes that that's a bad thing and immediately heads for Hayabusa village, where the statue and his clan is located. Now at Hayabusa village, Ryu must find Elizabeth before she obtains the demon statue, which is located at the center of the village. Little did I know, this chapter, which is only the second one, is the hardest out of chapters 1 through 14, and introduces one of the most annoying enemies in the entirety of the game, the wolves. Now, these wolves may not look like much, but they get worse. After absolutely massacring the enemy, they send an old foe to take Ryu out. Unfortunately, my past encounter with this enemy gave me zero leverage in this boss fight. After effortlessly taking out Tarzan on steroids, Rue makes his way to the demon statue. He then watches his father get KO'd by the main antagonist, Genshin Impact. Genshin gives the demon statue to Elizabeth and has her run off with it. Instead of casually stepping to the left to avoid Mr. Impact, Rue does a backflip and decides to face off with the Ass Whooper 3000. Now, you may be wondering, who were the first two Ass Whoopers? Or, why is Genshin called the Ass Whooper 3000? Well, Mr. Impact has primarily three moves. One, get the HE double hockey sticks out of the air. The back off or slack off and fucking die. And then the spamming. After excelling in being a personal punching bag, I finally get a whiff of luck and finish the fight after my very real third try. While spending that entire time getting my ass handed to me, Rue's dad was slowly making his way back up a few floors and finally came back to assist Rue in his assisted suicide. Rue's dad sacrifices himself once more so Rue can go get some bitches. Rue gladly accepts and chases after Elizabeth to New York City. According to Japan, New York is infested with bloodthirsty ninjas and demonic beasts, which is not too far from the truth. These Wendigo-looking twinks are slightly stronger than ninjas, but are much slower and tankier, making them only a slight nuisance. Although they are only a minor headache, they still add a challenge to the game as they require a slightly different approach, especially in groups or with other enemies. Traversing the dark and scary city of New York, we enter a subway station and encounter the legendary Metal Worm. This ultimate life form is completely invulnerable to melee weapons, but somehow crumbles to the touch of an arrow. So after blasting it approximately 68 times with my bow, it flopped onto the ground like a wet noodle. Feeling evil after the last boss, I decide to attack a ginormous monster named Gerald. Gerald does not fuck around, but neither do I. After the spiteful encounter with Gerald, baddie Sonya finds Rue and takes him to the Statue of Liberty in his journey to use his negative charisma to charm Elizabeth. Rue finally makes it to the top of what seems to be the Statue of Liberty, which actually ended up being the Statue of Liberty, just to find out that another simp of Elizabeth, Alexa or however you say it, the Greater Fiend of Thunder or something like that, also wants to raise up Elizabeth, so he tries to murder Rue. Unfortunately for Alexian, Rue is just better. After murdering the Greater Fiend of Technology, Alexa, using a sacred technique called spamming, Sonya picks us up and takes us to Rome or something, to fight the big bad Wolf of Storms. Welcome to Rome. According to the Japanese, Rome is infested with hundreds of werewolves that eat people, which is not very far from the truth. Their leader, Grandma Riding Hood, is bored from being so strong, so he has his goons hunt us down. Now, you would think he wants us alive, but for some reason they try to kill Rue instead of capturing him, which seems very interesting for the purpose of attacking us. Like any man would do in this situation, Rue follows the breadcrumb trail of murderous werewolves and murders every single one of them. Rue makes it to a crypt where he slays some weird skelepedes or something and then opens a secret path. Boom boom gun. Welcome to the Underground, home of meat eaters. Here you have three options. Get mutilated by a fish, get mutilated by multiple fish, or get eaten alive by multiple fish. That, my friends, is called the illusion of choice. No matter what, they win. You think you have the choice of survival, but in the end, you always end up sleeping with the fishes. After getting lost in the maze of an underwater cavern, I get attacked by a sea beast. Unfortunately for the sea beast, I have the boom boom gun. Oh look, how convenient. Ha! That's a piece of cake. Huh? Wait a second. What's that? Huh. Ah! Huh? Must be nothing. Wait a second. Oh my god, what the hell is that? After dominating a bunch of skeleton lizards in their own bedroom, Daddy Lizard Skeleton isn't happy about my presence and decides to try and kill me. Unfortunately, boom boom gun. Welcome back to Rome. It's just as welcoming as last time, except this time we're welcomed by alien space monkeys. Ah, anyways, watch me do a sick-ass backflip off a wall. I make it to Lord Dio's mansion, and like any grown man would do, I head right through the front door, because that is a smart idea to do when you're entering enemy territory. Actually, I break through a window with conveniently placed flagpoles. After experiencing the 5 stages of grief from being tackled so much, I finally encounter the big bad wolf face to face. Unfortunately, he wants to have an honorable fight in the Colosseum in front of all his minions.
Come, we will fight on the sacred battleground of the Colosseum.
Come here, bitch. This place is so cool, so big. Ah. Hey, it's that guy. Get a load of this guy. I'm gonna kill him. No. Ah! Unfortunately, a funeral wasn't on the werewolves' to-do list, so they all charged me after their leader's pitiful demise. You can guess how this turned out. After committing genocide for the 100th time this playthrough, Baddie Sonya comes and commits a casual war crime before picking us up. After fighting an absolute value 6-foot tall wolf, we follow Elizabeth to her the big carrier plane. Now, here's the plan. Step 1. Break into the ship. Simple. Step 2. Cause a reactor meltdown to blow up the ship. Also simple. Step 3. Look for the second reactor after the enemy was very prepared for this scenario. Step 4. Get fucking lost and encounter your arch nemesis, Genshin Impact. And Step 5. Defeat your nemesis and fucking crash. And finally, step 6. Defeat the giant lava tortoise that comes out of the ship's remains. Also, simple. Welcome to Russia, where the humans are smart enough to try and take on a greater fiend who is trying too hard to be a certain religious figure. Unfortunately, their intelligent choices end there after they try taking on me. Here's me using a strategy which later gets known as the anti-space monkey technique. Meet Gerard. Gerard is the slightly cooler Gerald. Unfortunately, like his predecessor, he is no match for the cheese. For once in this entire game, the enemies are actually smart and decide to use explosives against the enemy who is pulverizing their forces. Although, it still doesn't work. After spending way too long climbing a clock tower, I finally encounter the devil cosplayer and beat him to a bloody pulp. Or, a fiery pulp. I don't know what that tongue means, man. Oops. Welcome to Vietnam, where there's plenty of trees, but no Lorax to translate their language to English. Since none of the ops speak my language, the only reasonable thing to do is slaughter them. Like what the Brits did to the natives in the New World. After going into the underwater cave called the Devil's Ass Crack for the thrill of it, I encounter a river on the other side, with my ops floating down it. Because this is my job, it infuriates me, so I kill everything in a 50-mile radius, including a fucking dragon. Now, usually, I'll try to make a funny or snarky comment about the story, and if I can't, I'll just actually explain the story. But unfortunately, I cannot do either to explain how killing a dragon causes the sky to start bleeding, so you're just as clueless as I am. I now introduce to you the anti-space monkey technique. Now, if you aren't caught up on the story, we are currently infiltrating an underground temple to regain the demon statue. If you don't know that, you need to listen more. It's not like I haven't explained the story or something. Anyways, with the power of editing, we now get to skip the boring part where I spam the same attacks over and over again, and you get to skip to the interesting part where I get spammed with the same attacks over and over again. After dealing with the monsters from the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie, Elizabeth finally stops running and decides to fight me. This is low-key gonna be easy. Battle for the side. Oh look, it's Genshin Impact who just won't die. Genshin tells us that he's going to Mount Fuji to open a portal to hell or something, and so as a normal ninja would do, we go there as well. You know, one of my favorite things to do in this game is get tackled by fucking wolves and get suicide bombed. Luckily, Mount Fuji, the second time around, has plenty of wolves waiting to take their life for the cause. And when I say a lot of wolves, I mean a lot of wolves. After making some progress, I end up getting attacked by the Mauler twins from Invincible. Ugh, I beat them. I hope they don't come back anytime soon. No way. It would truly be quite the inconvenience if I ever have to fight these guys again.
So, you mean Genshin, these bombs, do you understand what this means? They are to be put the tantrum plot, never concern me. All past before me are cruel and arduous. Our time has come. Your life but just live, and you shall die!
Welcome to hell. This, in my opinion, is the most boring and also hard part of the game, obviously. Here, you fight every single boss a second or 53rd time, because why not? To save this video from becoming too boring or too long, also because I'm too lazy, I'm just gonna cut to the part where I beat every single boss. How's that sound? Woo! You have to be kidding me! Okay, so basically, to catch you guys up in case you guys are a little behind, this guy, the priest, he sacrificed himself to the Archfiend because the Archfiend needed one more soul to come alive. And now I am hunting down the Archfiend because, you know, it just released and it's about to destroy Earth. Yada yada dee. If you guys are just as confused as I am when I started the boss, basically you have to shoot the boss in the head with your ranged weapon, and then there will be a few occurrences where his chest will become a spot you can attack and it will deal extra damage. That's the entire boss fight. Like, I get that they're trying to go for something different, but it's a bit underwhelming, if you know what I mean. Like, you fight all these bosses. They're all so hard, and then the big boss is here, and it's a giant demon, and you just shoot it with a bow and arrow. Like, come on. There has to be better ways to do this. Like, I know you're just a little tiny ninja, and can't do much with a tiny little ninja fighting a ginormous demon that's meant to destroy the earth, but at least be a bit more creative than shooting it in the head with a bow and arrow or boom boom gun. Because, like I said, it's underwhelming. I get they're trying to do something different as for one of the final bosses, but just oof, is it underwhelming. And for the fact that they only give you two ranged weapons throughout the entire game, it doesn't make sense how these would be able to damage this world destroyer. For it to be the only way to defeat this big demon, there should at least be some sort of end game gun that was designed to kill this thing, you know? Because I get it, you're a strong ninja, but I doubt you're strong enough to kill this thing with a bow and arrow. Like, in the clip you're watching, I'm using the boom boom gun, but one of the ways you can fight it is with the bow and arrow, and just it doesn't make sense. It's a horrible way, in my opinion, to do this boss fight. Like, it's not the final boss fight, as you'll see in a few minutes, but it's just, it's not up to my expectations, and it was a bit stressful when I was first playing it, but now I'm watching the footage back, it's definitely a lot underwhelming, probably for you guys as well. Like, this is the world destroyer, and it can't kill one guy. This thing is meant to end the world, ruin everything, bring pure chaos to Earth, and yet it can't hit this ninja? Like, I get it, it has to be fair, has to be balanced, has to be fun. You can't just be obliterated in one attack. But, like, I don't know, give us some Super Saiyan mode for all I care. Like, it just doesn't add up. You're a normal human, at least that's what I think you are, and then you're fighting this demon. It's world ending. Sorry if I keep repeating myself. But yeah, it's certainly not what I expected, and it's definitely an underwhelming world destroyer, that's for sure. If this thing was coming to Earth, I would have lots of faith in humanity for taking this thing down, or at least surviving against it. Because for something so powerful, it sure does seem to be limiting how much it's using its powers. Now this is the final boss fight. Also underwhelming. I was able to cheese this entire thing with 1 HP. Now, I'm grateful I didn't have to restart, but it's an underwhelming boss. There are much harder bosses in the earlier game, and it's like reading a 500-page book. You have the main character fighting all these extremely powerful, extremely strong minions to this big guy. You're expecting a basically like a whole, really hard to kill, really hard to fight, super strong, super powerful, scary, intimidating. Yet you get a slightly more stronger average Joe. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's not what you expect. I had a harder time with Elizabeth, and sometimes the two Mauler twins, that's what I'm gonna call them, blue and red, and it's not the final boss you'd expect. Now, I'm going to be honest. The final boss is cool. He looks cool, his attacks are cool. I find it cool how it's kind of supposed to be representation of the main character, Rue. I find that a super cool idea, how it kind of took his blood and used it to become this dragon-like, ninja-like creature. I find that really cool concept. But it's just that the boss didn't feel like a final boss. Well, to me at the time, it felt like the final boss, as I was on the verge of death for most of the fight, to be honest, and that's that. But now, looking back, once again, I would have been more convinced if you showed me the footage of me fighting Elizabeth, where I died over and over and over and over, or back to the footage where I was fighting the first time you fight Genshin, where I died over and over and over and over, or even the Mauler twins, or not the Mauler twins, but you get it at this point. Like, they felt so much harder, they looked so much harder, and they weren't, they were not the final boss. And then you get this guy who looks cool, that's about it. And the game is great, I'll be honest, it was a fun game. Fun. It looked amazing, it played amazing most of the time. It definitely wasn't fun having the parts where I died all over again when I usually cruise through the game, but that's just how games are. They're supposed to be fun, they're supposed to be challenging, and I think this game is a solid A. Like, in the American grading system. Because it's great, it's fun, it's challenging, it's not too impossible on normal difficulty, and I enjoyed recording this. Maybe not as much as editing it, because my computer is a potato, and it's laggy as hell to work on it, but I enjoyed this game. I liked a lot about it, and I will definitely be playing the 5th game in the future.
The light of dawn drives away the darkness once again.